kid will say, can you do a backflip? They just ask you if you can do a front flip next, and you say no.
Oh my God!
Old enough to know better. I guess it's a bit of a joke. I'm 36. Should I really still be playing on my bike? Should I not have grown up by now? You know, I am old enough to know better. I've never been this fit and I've never been this well trained. I want to go and prove it. You know, how do I measure up in a real bike race? It'd be good to line up and see how I measure up against the best riders in Britain. I love it, you know. I love just getting out on my bike. Whether it's riding a pump track, road riding, gravel, going up mountains, riding downhill, trying to hit the biggest jump I've ever hit. It fed that progression. It just gave me the buzz of learning new things, of progressing as a rider, which transfers across all disciplines.
Most of the regulatory bodies out there that kind of oversee sport, what they're actually overseeing is the competitive element of sport, and that is racing, timing, it's training, it's sacrifice, all the stuff that kind of like channels people into something that's ultimately good for a race. It's not very much fun, is it? Maybe when people get too focused on the performance aspects, they kind of forget that.
Finding what makes you happy is the best. If that's going to the skate park one night instead of doing your intervals, go and do it. The intervals ain't going to help you when you're hating it. Then you're going to bed at night, tired as shit and pissed off because you've not got a good result. Whereas you could have been at the skate park with the lads having a midnight, be going to bed buzzing.
Oh, God. Helmet boys, eh? Good boys? Good boys with our helmets? Man, I've not been here. Came through here once in lockdown. Before that, I don't know when it was. Ali's the same. Ali hasn't ridden here since pre-COVID, and he's about to bang a flip out on the step up.
Last flip I did, 2019, so let's smash one.
Do you ever get told by people, or are you not too old for this?
No, I haven't for a while. People just assume that people who do this are youngsters, and they think I'm just a youngster as well. So, I saw Rab then signing in, 36. I was like, I thought he was younger than that. Looks good for his age. I used to be able to send it a little bit more, I think, these days, and a little bit more reserved.
I mean, you just done a backflip, so.
Yeah.
Racing XC, there's a lot of sacrifice. Doing anything to the top level, you need to cut a lot of stuff out of your life. And I think the big mistake people make is they chase the result, they chase the outcome, and they lose sight of the things that are actually going to allow them to achieve that.
All I was focused on was result, which you're kind of forced into doing because result equals ride. And if I don't get good results, I don't have a job. So you're just stuck in that when you're young and you don't really understand what it is that you're doing.
The only person that cared about my results or my performance was me. I didn't really know what my purpose was to be at the races. Doing Insta posts not quite cutting it, yeah. It certainly wasn't cutting it to make you want to train to be the best, to live the right kind of lifestyle, to be a good athlete. As soon as I had that moment in South Africa, I realised it was all over. I think my ego got in the way of me as well, but I started to struggle a bit.
If you have to do one thing for 24 hours for an entire month, you could be damn sure you're getting bored of it. Doesn't matter what it is, it can be your one true passion. You need to rest from it eventually. We just don't like doing the same thing over and over again. So I think it's important not to do what's technically better for your sport. Do it because it makes your brain better.
I think the way that he's approaching it now, he's actually got like a bit more more to get involved in, basically.
I was a road biker cross country, and BMX was quite alien to him when he first came here, actually. It really was. Because a lot of people don't like going for a big bike to a wee bike.
I banged my head against the roadblock for a while, but sometimes you just have to admit defeat and you have to take a step back in search of that feeling of progression. I never ever wanted to stop racing cross country, but it just got to a point where I needed a change, or I felt like I wanted a change. So that's where I ended up riding a road bike more, or a BMX, or trying to learn to flip, or you know, whatever it might be. When I started riding BMX, just the feeling of being able to air was what I wanted to achieve, and you're always pushing for that. You know, I can air kind of, but I want to air higher. It just kept that fire going and just reminded me how much I love it. You know, as a coach working with kids a lot of the time, kid will say, "Can you do a backflip?" And for so many years, I would just have to say no. You're at a school and a kid asks, "Can you do a backflip?" And you go, "Yeah, I can do a backflip." But the downside to that is they just ask you if you can do a front flip next, and you say no.
Oh my God! Incredible!
And you go, oh. Still the same. There's always just going to be another question.
Here, can you do a double backflip?
Huh?
Hang on, what's this? What's that? That's not a BMX. That's a phase.
These guys, yeah.
Rab, can you explain what's going on here?
Are you clipping in? No chance.
Maybe. I'm not sure if I'm going to do anything.
Nee, bother.
The thing is, it's ready for Resi already, isn't it? It's Resi ready. One more.
Oh, no stress, dude. That was... Oh my lord.
No. Fair play for getting out of that.
Yo! Woohoo! Yes, Steve. Right.
Oh my god. How does that never get scary? Like, it's never not scary. I'm taking it. There we are. Taking it to dirt is just going to be another scary thing, isn't it?
Pretty much grew up in here. I was here 4 or 5 times a week, most weeks. From all the skills I've learned in here, I've been able to put it into mountain biking. Through that, I've managed to travel the world, all because I could pump my way around a skate park. Influenced all of my riding style on every kind of bike.
Been riding Unit 23 skate park for about 15 years. There are rules, but then again there's not really any rules. During the summer, this place is absolutely packed with guys from England because they know it's the best park in Britain, you know.
There was a bunch of guys turned up. It was freezing cold, right? And they asked me, said, could we camp outside? I was like, any bother. One of them with his hammock, and they were camping. And there was mums turning up for lessons the next morning. They're like, the guys are out here, it's freezing. I was like, but they're loving it. And they'll talk about that in 20 years' time.
Yeah.
When they'll say, remember that time we all met at Unit and we camped out and it was freezing cold and we had a campfire and stuff like that. And that's what it's about. Having the best time with your best mates, and you will always remember it. If we can help to make their things happen, that's what life's about, making memories with your mates.
The passion and I guess just the can-do attitude that Chick Maley had was he ended up making the best skate park in the country. I remember seeing like the first kind of Scotty Crammer edit, and I was like, well, this guy's like mind-blowingly good BMXer. Felt like a month later I see Chris Kyle ride and I'm like, oh my god, this guy's that good. Like, he's from flipping Stranraer and he's as good as that guy in America. Yeah, the BSD guys and the unit riders, they started to get hooked up by Red Bull and Nike and these huge brands, and I'm like, these guys are doing it, you know? They're not just sketchy BMX riders from Scotland, they're legit pros, and it all comes from that community and that perfect storm where you've got Unit 23 skate park in Glasgow gives the opportunity for these riders to progress and flourish, and
We at the time didn't realise the impact that this place was going to have on the scene, and it built a lot more than cycling and skating careers.
Kids can be easily influenced by the bad things that go on outside, so here we are in a place where they can be influenced in a good way.
It was Chaz and Connor, my two sons, were seriously injured riding, and initially it was somewhere for them to take them off the street. And we could see that there was a demand. People can come and realise a dream. I think you should be allowed to explore how far you can push your sport. The last thing that kids need is to be told what to do when you're out of school. You're coming here, you want to be creative, you should be able to, the boundaries are far and wide for riding. It doesn't matter what kind of bike you're on. A road bike, a mountain bike, cross-country bike, BMX, it shouldn't matter. As long as you're riding a bike. That's why you started riding, because you enjoyed it and your pals enjoyed it, and that's what you done. So.
What are we doing?
We're out, we're training. Just ridden up to CATHKIN Braes, which is a mountain bike trail in Glasgow. Ta-da! 10 days until national champs. I'm here to, I guess, fine tune, doing a set of hill climb intervals and then a 15-minute block of threshold mid-race pace effort. So yeah, it's going to be savage. 2 minutes on, 3 minutes recovery, rolling back down the trails. Yeah, I'm going to do it on one of the main climbs here. It's going to be breathing hard, going full gas.
There's no book on being number one. It's not that easy. That's what's so wonderful about sport.
He's always had like a natural talent. Your body needs to behave a particular way in order to excel at that, and he's always had that. So it's actually been really refreshing to see him like find a new goal and a fresh enthusiasm and actually get back into it.
To something, it normally means there was something there that was pretty special. He's not completed, he's not finished, he's not reached his potential, and he knows he can. Age really is just a number. It's how young you feel in your head, and if he feels like he can, then you should.
I feel really fit, and I feel like I'm riding fast. To line up in the race is something I'm really looking forward to. I'm quite nervous because I'm going to be racing against some brilliant bike riders, but it'll be great to put myself in the spotlight and see how well I can do. If you do something like obscure enough, there's always a world's first in it. World's first ginger flips cross-country bike to Resi. That's going to be the flipping clickbait title of the video. World's first ginger from Dunfermline flips cross-country bike